Hi, and welcome to our Facebook Live Come Crafting with Jill and Jez. I'm Jez.
And I'm Jill.
And we do a live crafting session on the first Saturday of every month in our Facebook group. So if you would like to join us live on our group, then pop over to Facebook and join us. Come Crafting with Jill and Jez. Right then, we're doing some mixed media.
Oh.
So I made this. This is my little prototype to have a little practice. And I put together this the other day. I did a beginner's junk journaling.
I haven't had to watch it yet.
And something like that you can put on the front of a journal. That's the sort of one use for it. What I'm going to make today, I mean, this is a random picture off the internet. What I'm going to use today is my mum and dad's wedding photo, and so I'm going to put it in a frame.
Oh, nice.
Because I don't actually have my mum and dad's wedding photo up in the house. So I was thinking that the other day when it was Mother's Day, because both of them are no longer with us, and I thought that would be beautiful. So I have used corrugated cardboard. This is from a Stampin' Up delivery box. Okay, and I'll just give you a quick, so Stampin' Up delivery box, and you can just easily peel them down. They're kind of double layered, so you get double layer of corrugated cardboard. I'm not doing this gently because I'm just sort of showing, but they do come apart quite easily. I have held it over the steam of a kettle as well to sort of help it, and you can get those bits off by just taking your pokey tool and running them up and then just picking them off. Sometimes they come off really well, and then you can take the brown stuff off the back. And I say I have done this, like steaming it over a kettle, to sort of make it. Yeah.
I have to admit that every time I throw something in the recycling, I'm thinking, oh, Jez would keep that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in my bin. I think it's gone now. I had a brown envelope that something came in, and I thought, oh, Jez would keep that.
Yeah, just keeps everything. So that's what we do, and you do get this lovely sort of brown paper with it, with lines in, which if you're into junk journaling and mixed media and that they're great. So that's the basis. So that's the back bit. The next layer is crumb cake cardstock. I've already embossed it with this embossing folder that is also going. This is the ornate floral embossing folder, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's lovely for sort of vintage designs. Goes really nice with the inner of this box. But not all corrugated cardboard is the same colour. So this one is completely different colour. So I'd probably use grey granite with that.
Yeah. Or Sahara sand, maybe?
Or Sahara sand, yeah, one or the other. But I'm using this one. And then the frame is, I've already die cut it, is from Ornate Layers, which again I think is just perfect for a vintage project. It looks a little bit like a vintage frame. Okay, so now we need to make it look old. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to rip a bit down here where I want it, about there. Use my ruler because I don't want it neat. Okay, so we've got that. That's nicely. I didn't worry about all the card on the back because it's the front that I'm interested in. Okay, so we're going to do some heat embossing on these two elements here. So I've got my Versamark and I've got my Stays On. So this is the Saddle Brown Stays On, which you don't see a picture of it in the catalogue, but it's there. You get a picture of the black Stays On, and if you look, they do it in both colours.
And is it staying? Is it staying in the catalogue?
Yes, I checked.
All right.
Yeah, so this actually isn't retiring, and it's quite nice because it gives you a nice sort of extra little sort of colour as well. So what I'm going to do, and you can see I've managed to stain my Versamark, but it doesn't actually matter. So I'm just rubbing the Versamark up the corrugation, if that's the right word. I might have made up another word. I'm quite good at making up words. Like vintaging and dealable with. So I am going to put, I've got my gold embossing powder. So I'm just going to shake it, shaky, that around. Love a bit of heat embossing. Just chuck it all on. Haven't used my embossing buddy because it doesn't matter.
No, no.
Doesn't matter when you're doing grunge. You probably don't need.
Are your ribbon boxes the same size as my boxes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh right.
6x6 scored 2424. Yeah. So yeah, and then I may as well do all the gold at the same time. On this one, I'm just gonna put it on the edge. So I don't need it all over. So I'm just rubbing Versamark on the edge of the frame. Oh, do you know, did you see what I just did there?
No, what did you do?
I'll just spill it all on my grid mat because I'm an idiot.
No. I hate that. I hate that.
But at least I haven't turned my heat gun on yet. Although there is time to spray my entire room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like somebody I know did.
Yeah. Well, I did that when I needed a fan on when it was really hot, and I had my white embossing powder out. It was like a frigging snowstorm.
Yeah. Now I might knock some of that off from the middle because I don't need it. There we go. Let's get this off now. Oh, of course, don't want to move my grid mat because...
No, I know. It's horrible. It leaves a residue, doesn't it? You get these little gritty pieces.
Yeah, there we go. That's all done. And I've rearranged my craft desk so my heat gun is right next to me now.
Oh, it's still magic when it turns.
Eh?
Still magic when it turns.
Yeah. Like alchemy.
Yeah. So clever. Whoever thought of this?
And what I'm going to do is what you shouldn't do when you want a nice embossing thing is I'm going to overheat in areas. So when you overheat in areas, it goes dull.
Yeah.
And I actually want that effect because that makes it look a bit old.
Oh.
Now, you can tell I've overheated in areas because you can see where my grid mat's scorched.
Yeah.
So, and I say, so it makes it a little bit duller and not quite so bright and pretty. And
the powder melts too much and soaks into the backing, doesn't it?
So I've got some duller bits around here. I've got some bits that haven't got any ink on, and that's quite deliberate. You
have no idea how much this is affecting my OCD about being neat and tidy and clean.
Yeah. just you know, just chill. Just chill. It's not on your desk. You're not making it.
I'm trying.
So I'm just going over little bits where I'm not going fully over. I'm just going on random sections now with this.
You're going to go over that with the same colour?
No. No. So now, one step ahead of me there, Jill.
Okay, sorry.
I'm turning this over so that I don't mix them up. So I've got copper.
Anthony's saying deep breaths, Jill.
Yes. So I'm just going to now go over with copper.
Oh.
Trying to get that effect, you know, where metal discolours and it's like oxidizes or whatever. Although that copper goes green, doesn't it? But you know, there we go. And then I'm going to do it on my corrugated. Of course, now I can't remember where I put the ink.
No.
And you're only going to see the edging of this because the whole centre is going to be covered up. So I needn't have bothered doing the centre of that, but you know, it's done now. There we go.
A good idea using a coffee filter for that.
Yeah, I saw somebody else do it and I thought, oh, that's a good idea. I'll have that. So, again, the magic. You do get a slight smell of burning, so you know you've gone too far.
Yeah, I was imagining that, you know.
And then I'm just going to take...
Grid pad must be really hot.
Yeah, well, you can see where the scorching is. So I'm just taking a little bit of stays on. So just to add that old nicotine stained aged look. My parents, my mum's parents, well, actually, and my dad's dad, were smokers. So there was lots of nicotine. I'm just going to give it a waft.
Just to dry that off.
Yeah. Because it's slower drying.
Yeah. Yeah, it smudges quite easily when it's first stamped, doesn't it?
That's how I ended up with it on my Versamark. Because I did it first time.
Yeah.
So there we go. That should be that bit done. So I don't know if that's coming out on the camera, but there is a mix of colour there, of dull bits and that. And I say it was trying to create that look of being old and vintage. So we're going to have this layer in between to sort of break it up. Don't like straight edges on my vintage projects.
I'm just desperate to put that piece of corrugated card in a trimmer.
Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening. So I want to rip this around, but first of all, no, not first of all. I just want to rip it around. So I'm just going to go with a paintbrush and wet the edges to weaken the cardstock so that it rips easier.
Yeah.
It also allows you to be a little bit more controlled, so your rip don't go off in completely the wrong direction to where you want it to be. And I want it to stay a rectangle. So now I can rip that. And I'm ripping towards me so that I'm getting some of the core of the card. I mean, our cardstock doesn't have a white core.
Yeah.
But if you were using stuff that had a white core, if you rip towards you, then you would see the core, and then if you ink it up, you've got a nice little effect there. The DSP has a white core, so
yeah,
that's quite cool to do that, and then you get a different coloration when you're inking. And I say without wetting, it's not quite so easy to rip.
yeah. Presumably, if you left the water on a little bit longer, it'd be even easier.
Yeah. Oh, well, sometimes it dries as well, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that, and of course we need to ink that up a little bit. So I'm going to get a bit of soft suede. I could use crumb cake and be tone on tone, but I want a little bit more of a darker thing. So you can see on that edge there, it was actually a little bit damp, but that's picked up that ink quite well on the edges. And then if I just go over, it's picking up the raised bits of the embossed wee flowers. And I'm just gonna, you shouldn't see it, but just in case, I'm just gonna, but I think the photo is going to cover all of it because I kind of measured it. It was a kind of measure as opposed to a full-on accurate one. So that's that. I will need that again in a minute, so I'm not putting it away. So we've got that, we've got that, we've got that. So now we want the photo. So I picked out some photos. I was just looking through of my parents, my grandparents. I think that's a little bit. I said to Ed, what does that remind you of? He went Bonnie and Clyde. And I went, I was thinking Peaky Blinders. And he went, oh yeah, it could have been that as well. But it was the right era. Because that would have been late 20s, early 30s. For my grandparents, not for my parents. They're the 50s, although that was much earlier.
My mum was telling me this not my mum, my auntie was telling me, because we were looking through some of mum's photos, and there was photos of her obviously on holiday somewhere with a couple of other girls, and there were a couple of lads as well.
Yeah.
And my mum was very prim and proper, so I was trying to work out, you know, what this. My auntie said that when she just started working, so she must have just been 18 or 19, she went on holiday with a couple of other girls to Butlins.
Ah.
And because there was 3 of them, 2 of them shared a chalet, and mum was put in a chalet with another girl who she didn't know. I mean, can you imagine that these days? You know, so they just, you know, sort of, if you were single, you just put it. And they went, and the 3 girls went out for the night. And when they got back to their chalet, the other girl that she was sharing with had a boy in the chalet with her.
Scandalous.
So, I can just imagine my mum being so shocked or whatever.
Yeah,
about that.
absolutely.
Just go, how times change. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
But who the other 2 lads? We didn't establish who the other 2 lads on the. I think they were just lads they met at Butlins.
Yeah.
So
I've been to Butlins. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
I worked at Butlins actually as well.
Oh really?
Yeah, I did a summer season at Butlins.
Oh, doing what?
Selling ice cream on the fairground.
Oh.
It was just before I started training to be a nurse.
Where was that then?
Minehead. Yeah. 1985.
Yeah.
So I'm just going around the edge. This photo was more black and white. I just played with it until it was more sepia, because I wanted a sepia tone with what I was creating today. So there's that. So now we just need to put it all together. So bit of Tombow. And I just think, well, you know what I mean, I love me old and I love me vintage, but I just think a nice way to display old photos. And I say I don't have a photo of my mum and dad's wedding.
Oh, it'd be nice to have that up.
Yeah. Just need to get a frame once this is done. So I'm trying to do it so I could see the holes a bit better. It's down now, it's stuck, Jez, you've had it. No little wiggle time there. I shouldn't be such a perfectionist. So I'm just going to put little dots around this frame bit. Although I'm not bothered if it sticks up a bit, to be fair. So stick that on there.
Oh, well, Ali's saying, anyone what do on tour this morning? No, we didn't.
Nah.
Don't know. So
No.
was it good, Ali?
I completely forgot all about it actually until somebody sort of put it on. As anybody go in? And
yeah.
But I'd rather choose my own stamp set.
Yeah.
We've seen the
I did
catalogue.
like one of the stamp sets I liked, the other one I didn't. I can't remember which one. What the
oh yeah, because people got different ones, didn't they?
Yeah, they didn't all get the same. It's been like Prize Patrol, you all got different ones. Yeah.
We'd have got
Anthony
ones we didn't like, Jill. That's just sod's law, isn't it? We'd have got ones we didn't like.
I haven't ever at any Stampin' Up event with a Prize Patrol got a stamp set that I would otherwise have bought.
Yeah.
Okay. And the only advantage of that is I got Beautiful You one year, which was that dancing woman that I couldn't stand, which everybody else loved. I was the only person I know on earth that didn't like it. And when it retired, I sold it for some ridiculous amount, like £45 or something.
Gosh.
So,
gosh. Right.
It was worth it.
I'm using this gold metallic ribbon to go around it as I did there. I just thought that was a nice little finishing touch and brings out the gilds that I've done. Yeah. It's quite wide, so I'm going to use this stamp block to tie my bow. I think I showed this little tip in another video. It's not mine, it's a Connie Stewart tip, and you tie your bow. faff with it until you're happy and it's about the size you want. So talk amongst yourselves. So that's, I'm happy with that. So.
Oh, Ali's saying it's the first time she's been to on tour. Her stamp set hasn't arrived, but she knows which one she's got and she's happy. So that's good.
Oh, that's
which
good.
one did you get, Ali? And Yvonne is saying, I've gifted mine away to other team members.
Oh,
So.
well, that's good use for it. Right. So there it is, tied round the block, and then you just snip at the back.
Oh, snip it.
And there you've got your
good idea.
Thing to go round. Absolutely genius. Thank you, Connie Stewart, for that one. Saw that years ago and thought, wow, blew my mind. Thought, need to remember that one.
Oh, the bottled happiness. Oh, I would have been happy with that, Ali. I like that stamp set.
The what?
Bottled happiness, the one with the bottles and the flowers.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, yeah, that would have been quite nice because I would. I'm in two minds about whether or not I want that.
Yeah, I was in two minds about whether to buy the punch because it's kind of one trick pony punch, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you see, I wouldn't get the punch because I reckon I could cut the stamps out.
Yeah.
With my scan and cut.
Yeah. I think I'd just fussy cut the bottles really. But I like the stamp set, and it's one that you stamp and then it's a bit like the welcoming window. You stamp some foliage and then you stamp the flowers. So you get two colours. I quite like those sets.
So that's that, and then I'm just going to put a bit. I've still got oodles of fast fuse. It's a bit like Stampin' Seal Plus, and the refills will fill this.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they're the same. The refills are.
Anthony's saying any of the animal stamp sets this year, Jill and Jez?
Not a chance.
No, there were some comments as we went through the new catalogue
that we can't repeat on in
present
company. I'm sure you can imagine. One of my friends messaged me and went, "I bet the air was blue, Jez." I went, "Yeah, it was." At every turn of the page, nearly.
Yeah, there was so many flowers. There are so many flowers. I've looked through it again. I think, oh my goodness, there. I mean, I love flowers, and quite a lot that I don't mind, but there are a lot of flowers in that catalogue. And I think for people who don't do floral, a bit of a problem, really.
So there we are.
Very nice.
That's my lovely mum and dad.
Yeah.
That's some random woman that I don't know.
I was going to say, who's that woman?
I've no idea. So I shall come back up now. Thank you for watching. Now why don't you go, there's a link down below and you can pop across and see what Jill has made during the live as well, and why don't you join us on our Facebook group next time. Okay, bye for now.
Bye.